Y'all thought I was playing. Y'all thought I was playing when I said I'm gonna buy a Spider-Man outfit and I'm gonna do lives with it. See, look, it looks beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like a glove. You really want to know?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yo, gonna be doing the lives in the Spider-Man. My mask ain't coming yet, though. I was waiting for my mask to come in. But I told you I was gonna get a Spider-Man outfit. I was gonna do lives in that joint. I might get the other one. I might get the Miles Morales too. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Que lo que, manin? Devontae in the building. Luis in the building. Cervecero in the building. Javier in the building. Yo, so yo. For those that don't know, the next episode of the relay is already done. I will upload it after this live. And as you can see, you know, it fits like a glove, bro. Fits like a glove. You know what I'm saying? I would have made a decent Spider-Man, yo. Would have made a decent Spider-Man. What it do? Rala que lo que, manin? Don't care in the building. Oh, dirty in the building. I told you I was gonna get a Spider-Man outfit. Y'all be thinking I'm just talking. Dr. Mario in the building. Ya tú sabes, manín. I told y'all. Shout out to my man Edwin Castillo. ¿Qué pasó, Julio? Canelo #1. Word. Ward is salty. But I told y'all that I always felt that Ward's problem with Canelo, it didn't really start until Canelo started campaigning as a super middleweight and they would be rated against each other because in previous years, Andre Ward was actually very supportive of Canelo, especially around the time that the Golovkin stuff was happening between Canelo and Golovkin. And he was very supportive of Canelo in those years. And it was likely due to hate for hate of Gennady Golovkin. And as soon as all of that was over, he found somebody new to hate on. Unbiased, what it do? Y'all, unbiased, how I look with the Spider-Man look, bro. I don't look like Spider-Man out here, bro. Look at that. Look at the pectorals. Look at the spider logo. Look at the delts. You know what I'm saying? My biceps still need a little bit more work. I still need a little bit more work. Could be a little. How look, yo? Spider-Man. 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 Smokes a Newport whenever he can. Touch your breast. Touch your ass. I skip school. I cut class. Look out. Here comes the Spider-Man. Y'all already know. I am a weirdo. Yo, I'm gonna get an Iron Man suit next. I'm gonna do a whole lot with it. That the internet does that. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Lost his mind? They've been saying that. They've been saying I lost my mind. I'm a Mr. Thrash said, yo, you look like an 8th grade. Oh, snizzap. Bro, I look like Spider-Man. Stop hating on me, bro. I don't look like Spider-Man. Look at these pecs, bro. Look at these delts out here, B. I don't look like Spider-Man out here. Stop playing with me, yo. Oh, stop. What you mean? What you mean? Bro? What did you talk? Yo, don't make me take my shirt off on this live, B. A lot of y'all will hit the gym on Monday morning if I take my shirt off. Y'all better stop playing with me. Yeah, I'm the bodega Spider-Man, yo. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, a las 125. Coge el uno, BX19. Stop it. Now I'm about to post the link to the about to post the link in the chat. And yeah, yo, for those that don't know, yesterday BoxRec, I guess they updated their algorithm, and Andre Ward was not happy about it because they have elected, so to speak, not even them, but their algorithm. It now ranks Canelo Alvarez ahead of Joe Calzaghe and Andre Ward. And we talked about that yesterday, that it's kind of a design flaw because when BoxRec ranks a fighter, they're tallying points for fights that didn't happen at super middleweight. You know, they look at the points as a totality, and based on the point system, yo, Willie, I don't look like Spider-Man, B. Stop playing with me, B. Stop playing with me, yo. Country, I don't look like Spider-Man. Look at me.
You do, but you need the mask, man. But you do.
It's coming. Unbiased trying to hate on me, bro. Y'all wish y'all be in y'all 40s and be in this good shape, B. What is y'all talking about out here, B? Spider-Man smokes a Newport whenever he can. You already know.
What up, Leo? What up, Will?
Stop hating on me, bro.
No pecs.
Stop hating on me, bro. Don't make me take my shirt off
No
out here, bro.
No
Don't make me take my shirt off out here, because it'll be me and you, and this will be a very uncomfortable live.
No, we don't do no Tyrese movements, all right?
No. All right. I told you I was gonna get a Spider-Man suit. Oh my God, I'm joking. She's so mad.
She know you nuts.
She knows that I would actually do it though. But I don't think we talked enough about what happened yesterday. That they rating Canelo above Ward. I don't know if everybody agrees with that. That he's a better all-time. See, the thing is, the algorithm is a design flaw, right? So you already know off top that it's like, is that really accurate when you also have Daniel Jacobs in the top 10 and Demetrius Andrade in the top 10? You're telling me that these are top 10 all-time great super middleweights when they barely did anything there? So I understand that there's a design flaw, but what sets Canelo apart is he actually does have a claim to be one of the best super middleweights because he did go undisputed. And to my knowledge, he's the only one who ever went undisputed at super middleweight. Nobody else ever held all the belts at the same time. So I'm going to let y'all chime in. Do you guys agree that Canelo is the number one super middleweight?
In terms of accomplishments,
all I know is that if Ford's getting salty over a list that has Demetrius Andrade at Boo Boo as top 10, then you're just being silly, fam.
That dude is super petty, bro. Villain, how you like my Spider-Man shirt, bro?
It looks amazing. You look really good, man.
Do I look amazing? Would you feel safer if I was like swinging outside your apartment or your house? Would you feel safer, bro?
I mean, I'd probably feel safer, but I'd be asking some questions like, why didn't you just ring the doorbell?
First of all, you're not from this earth. You're not from this planet, so you're a spider alien.
I am spider alien. You're right. I am. You're right. But how do you guys feel about it?
When did you get the Spider-Man gear?
I literally ordered it on Amazon. You know, I was feeling the Halloween spirit after Halloween, right? I should have dressed up. I dressed my kids up. My wife even had a little bit like a little costume, but I didn't wear nothing. I wore a jean jacket and some Timbs. And I should have wore some shit. In any event, you know, now we got next year all planned out and all of that. And I felt the Halloween spirit, and I thought to myself, what's something really stupid I could do during a live stream to spice it up? Wear a Spider-Man costume. And here we are.
You know, I get a feeling that you're never going to grow up.
No, I'm not. I don't want to grow. Yo, did Toys R Us really go out of business? They're done, right?
Yeah, they only have they only have 2 stores open in the entire United States.
What about in the rest of the world? Are they done in the rest of the world?
Good question. I don't know.
Hey, man, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Bunch of shit.
Let's talk about this trash ass box wreck, though. Let's talk about this trash ass.
Tony Boswell for the $15. Appreciate you, bruh. I'm gonna spend it on more Spider-Man costumes. Unbiased. The floor is yours.
All right, so let's talk about this trash ass box wreck. Yo,
I take it you don't agree.
Well, I don't have an issue with Canelo's claim. I don't even beef with that. You know, I mean, listen, being the greatest in the division and being the most talented can be 2 separate things. Because you got to remember Roy Jones and and James Toney were more impressive at 168, but Canelo accomplished more. So I don't have a beef with Canelo's claim. It's just that the algorithm for BoxRec is trash. I found out they actually give you points for every victory. So they're counting victories that you're getting outside of that weight class towards that weight class, which is a problem in itself.
Yeah,
And
that's bad.
yeah, BoxRec's rankings have been trash. I mean, they need
That's
to
true.
improve their algorithm. Their algorithm is Dookie Cheeks.
That is true. I noticed that I think it started because BoxRec's algorithm actually used to be really good. It used to be a reliable set of rank standings, as reliable at least as ESPN and as reliable at least as Ring Magazine. That if you looked at their divisional rank standings and even, their pound for pound every so often, because their pound for pound was really always garbage. But there were moments where it's like, yeah, I see how you guys got there. I see how the algorithm got there. Whereas now it's like, on one end, I'll say this. I would understand if someone said that because Canelo is the first undisputed champion that division has ever seen, literally, I get it. But it is true that, like, bro, I wouldn't pick Canelo to beat James Toney. Just saying.
Hell no.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't pick Canelo to beat Roy Jones. Yeah, I think his best bet. I think his best bet against Roy would have to have been Roy at 160, and that's only right because that's it's Roy. He wasn't that experienced at 160. That's your only out. That by the time that Canelo got to 160, he was a more experienced fighter when he got there than Roy was. But that doesn't mean that you would beat him. But that's the shit. That's the shit. Bobby Light says, to be honest, I don't find Canelo being ranked at number 1 is that controversial over Ward. My issue is more so with the rest of the ranking. What do you guys think about that?
Amen.
It's possible. Like, I think part of BoxRec's problem with their algorithm is that, again, this goes to an issue we keep saying over and over again. Fighters aren't fighting enough, so there isn't enough data to correctly count things.
That's so true. That's so true. I mean, I would say that I would have to rate Canelo as an all-time great super middleweight, but that doesn't mean that I'm convinced that he would beat Slappy Joe or Ward. That doesn't mean that. But if we're going to rank them, just rank them, I see the argument for Canelo, and I feel like, well, look, all you can do is fight the people of your era. All you can do is fight the people that are in front of you. So whoever's mic that is, fix that shit or mute yourself. All you can do is fight the people in your era. So would you guys say that it goes a long way towards selling that idea if he were to fight and beat the winner of Benavidez versus Andre?
All right, first of all, I got a question for you. Are you trying to tell me you don't think that Canelo beats Andre Ward?
Stylistically, look, this is the thing. Stylistically, remember, Ward is the naturally bigger, taller fighter. Remember, Ward stands in at about 6 feet tall, about 6 feet, 6'1".
I agree with that.
He has a size advantage over Canelo, but he is a mid-range to inside fighter. And arguably, I'm not going to say I think he's the best because I don't, but he is one of the best mid-range to inside fighters of the last 15 years. That's his sweet spot. He's actually very good there. So what you have to ask yourself is, do you think Canelo would dominate the pocket against Andre Ward?
Yes, I think
he would.
I think prime Canelo, who made that run to go undisputed. I think that version of Canelo ends up beating Ward. I mean, you have to admit, Ward got knocked down at least once or twice. At least you're right. In the way that he got knocked down, he was fairly open. I think Canelo finds a way to take advantage of that. Now, I'm not as high on Ward as a lot of people are, so for me, it's a no-brainer. I think he beats Ward personally. I think he beats him fairly.
I think that's a hot take, Villain. I think
that is a hot take.
I think that's a hot. See, my thing is this: that I could see Canelo winning politically. That if Ward is on the defensive too much on the inside, remember, Ward was never really that big a puncher. Not at super middleweight, at least he just wasn't, and even at light heavyweight, he wasn't a big puncher. So it's not me thinking that he's going to pop Canelo and hurt him so much as maybe neutralize some of what he does. Because one thing Canelo Alvarez has been doing, especially as a super middleweight, is loading up his punches. He's been doing that a lot.
You can make an argument that like with Bivol, he can neutralize him. That I'll give you. But I think if you get the Canelo that made the run, that Canelo, if he's as focused, even the Canelo that fight Triple G in the first and second fight. The third fight's kind of a throwaway, so I don't include that. I think he has a very good chance to outpoint Ward. I think he puts him down too as well.
M.A. Bustamante says, shout out the ring. I got no problem with Canelo over Ward, but Calzaghe was special. I think he'd beat Canelo. By the way, Spider-Man was on Peds, and so am I. What the fuck? Shout out to Peds. Peds. You know we love some Peds on Ring IQ.
Oh, Lord, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Justino Castillo, do the Mike Tyson beautiful Bumblebee song. I gotta learn the words, bro. I don't know that one off the top of my head. So who here feels that Andre Ward would beat Canelo?
Look, let me say this.
Go ahead, Leo.
Sorry, Leo.
Okay. Every time a fighter goes against Canelo and it tries to clinch and work in the clinch, it never works. The best hope you have against Canelo in the clinch is try to tie him up and wait for the referee to break the clinch, because they're not going to work. Canelo's not going to let you. I've seen
That's true.
Many of Canelo's fights, even in the John Ryder fight. John Ryder was very effective trying to slow down Canelo by clinching, but it wasn't able to work really on the inside, and the way Ward used to do in his super middleweight campaign, and even with the Kovalev fight. It was putting punches together in the clinch, trying to use his forearms, trying to use his head. That never works with Canelo, because Canelo doesn't let you do that. And Canelo is, I think Canelo's stronger than Ward.
Ooh, you know what? That's not the craziest thing I ever heard. It's not. See, the fact of the matter is this. I feel like Andre Ward, perhaps his reputation precedes him. Precedes him in the sense that it is true that you were rocked by Darnell Boone and dropped. He dropped you flat on your stomach like a Sunday pair of slacks. He did. And we know Kovalev dropped you off a jab, right? So the idea that a fighter, at least better than a Darnell Boone, and at least a more consummate professional than a Kovalev who doesn't have an alcohol problem, it is possible that Canelo could drop him at least once, right? Is that crazy?
No,
crazy,
not
guys?
That's
crazy.
not
It's not crazy. It's
Hey,
not
can I say
crazy.
something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Will.
Can I say something though? In terms
Wait, compliment.
of how
Will. Before you don't just walk in here and don't say something nice about me and my Spider-Man suit. You don't just do that. I want a compliment.
Just say no pecs.
Come on, give me a compliment.
Come on,
look
Will.
nice, but I have them. Let me ask you something though. When you bench press, do you smoke?
Whenever he wore the costume.
Yo, do you smoke Newports when you bench press, bro?
You know, actually, well, I haven't been to the gym. I got some equipment, and I literally do. I do over 100 pull-ups every day. I'm going for calisthenics, which are better for an older person. When I do go back to the gym, I'm not gonna lift heavy like I did when I was young. I'm getting old. That's not safe. But I actually did used to smoke. I actually did used to smoke when I went to the gym. If I was at the gym for 3 hours in the middle, I would take a smoke break.
When you're doing your pull-ups, do you have it like dangling out of your lip whenever you're doing your pull-ups?
Well, I'll say this,
What?
Julius.
Like you have a cigarette dangling out your lip. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Literally in the house, in front of the kids and everything, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's old school, baby.
Well, I'll say this, Julius. I hope that by the time I reach your age, I look as half as good as how you do, honestly. So
I appreciate. See, this is
whoa,
this is how you talk to people unbiased. All right.
The gas is real. The gas is real.
Dudes yesterday telling you they love you. Now they're complimenting your physique. What do we got going on here? Where's this channel going?
This is all to feed my very shallow, fragile ego.
No, he's about to take you to a
same as always.
Take you to the double tree.
Same as always. Now go ahead. What do you think about this Canelo Andre Ward thing? What do you think about that?
I will say, when you are trying to sell the fans a dream that this guy is better than the other in terms of legacy, it helps that you became undisputed. When Ward became a unified champion, he had the opportunity to become undisputed. He chose not to. there's always going to be that question lingering. Canelo actually even did a little bit more because not only did he unify all the belts, he made title defenses in between and
That is true.
afterwards.
That is true.
So, in terms of how I view who was greater over the other, it would be the lasting legacy. And you had an undisputed champion making title defenses. That does matter.
Can I ask you a question though?
I agree with that. Go ahead, Unbiased.
Because Undisputed is more valued now than it was then. Am I wrong?
You know what? You raise a very valid point. I don't think that it's more valued so much as it stands out more because it was standard issue before. Remember, when we were kids, Mike Tyson being undisputed wasn't even what we talked about, but he was undisputed, though. He was. And Holyfield, and Buster Douglas, then Holyfield, and Lennox Lewis, he was also undisputed in his era. So it wasn't like it wasn't happening. It's more like we didn't have to beg you to do it. It was standard issue. We didn't have to beg you to do it, that you had to go out there and fight guys. Whereas now, like, yeah, we got to beg you. So when it happens, it stands out. Because we basically got to
are choosing to sit on their belts and not unify. That's why
like we got to beg these guys to obviously there's guys that you don't have to beg. It was always Crawford's intention to get all the belts. It's always Inouye's intention to get all the belts. Usyk is the same deal. But there are other guys that you gotta beg them, like the Puerto Rican guy down there at at flyweight, right? He was supposed to have a unification match with Kenshiro Taraji months ago. He drops out due to illness. He doesn't revisit negotiations. They don't pick up where they left off, right? That was at like flyweight, matter of fact. Same shit. And it's clear that you was just trying to get out of that fight because you done fought like 2 times since then. And I know you're not getting for them other fights what you would have got with Taraji, you know?
Are you talking about that Gonzalez motherfucker?
Bomba Gonzalez, bro.
Because if you remember correctly, when he had that fight in Japan, I remember a lot of people said that dude got robbed in his home country because it didn't look like Gonzalez did enough to actually win the fight. He was just sticking and moving. Yup.
And the Taraji fight was supposed to that was supposed to be the setup for the Taraji fight. And it's not like it's just, people were talking about it. No, the teams talked about it. The fight was made and he pulled out because he was supposedly ill. But it's like, why didn't you ever go back to revisit the talks and pick up where you left off? Why didn't you just reschedule it? You just like, fuck it. And the beautiful thing about yesterday is, Nonishinga got knocked out, IBF champion. Now you got the Mexican kid, Adrian Curiel, right? And Taraji is already on it. Like, hey, I'll fight him. If he wants to fight, we can fight. He's champion at my weight. I got 2 belts. He's got 1. We can fight. And that accents what I'm saying, Unbiased, that there's guys out there, you got to beg them. You kind of got to beg them to go unify a title. So it does stand out more.
Is he more Mexican than Martinez, though?
You talking about Curiel? Look, Martinez is a fuck up. Martinez is a fuck up, bro. Like I gave up on him. I'm tired of him personally. Like I'm like, I just hope somebody comes along and takes the WBC from him because he's not doing anything with it. It's gotten to the point. Remember, before it was ever about Bam and Sonny, it was about Julio and Sonny. Now, Sonny is already showing, bro, I'm with the fights. I'm with the shit. I'll fight who you want me to fight, bro. If Bam is the man, then I'll fight him. If Julio is the man, then I'll fight him. We see that, so Sonny going into the Lions Den. Bam is going in the Lions Den. And what's Julio doing? Still scheduling a McWilliams-Arroyo fight for the 15th fucking time. Clearly, you didn't want to fight.
100%.
I'm actually surprised that McWilliams-Arroyo is still fighting.
Bro,
I'm surprised about the guy for like 7 years.
Bro, this is the 6th time they're rescheduling this. The 6th, bro. That's fucking crazy. But like, why are we doing this? This fight is cursed. It's never gonna happen. Every time y'all try to make it happen, something happens. Give up.
Hey, Jules, read your super chats. You got a hot take on one of your super chats.
Okay, we got Domo saying trick to beating Canelo is to adjust to him round by round at both mid-range and inside. I think Ward is capable of it, but won't be a blowout. That's a very good point. Ward is, yeah, Ward's defensive, but he's not an outside fighter. He's not an outside jabber, and he's not a long distance fighter. He's a close quarters fighter who slips, rolls, rides, catches, parries. That's what he does. And Canelo is a mid-range fighter. So when you have a very strong puncher, and I do think that Canelo is physically stronger than Ward, punches harder, takes a better punch than Ward. The caveat is you do load up your punches. When you let one go now, you can see you losing about a half a second on the trigger before it lands. And I wonder, how does that look with Ward? Because if anything, he might dive in and clinch. He might hold and smother that.
Also, with Ward, you have to remember, he gets away with some, let's just say, questionable tactics. A bit of elbows, a bit of headbutting. So you have to keep that in mind whenever you talk about how, Canelo would beat him easy. Ward was allowed to cheat, pretty much, his entire career.
I don't know about all of it. I wouldn't say that.
That's a little bit of a reach. That's like trying to say he was a dirty fighter every fight. Come on, that's a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, like
all right.
He wasn't. I didn't see him do anything dirty. I didn't see him do anything dirty to Froch. In fact, that entire reputation for me, it really started like the holding people complained about. People always complain about holding. Obviously, holding doesn't really make you a dirty fighter, though. The dirty fighter stuff started in the second Sergey Kovalev fight, which was literally the last fight of his career. So I would not say that he's always been a dirty fighter. That's a gross overestimation.
No, but okay. If we are talking about Andre Ward, I've seen Andre Ward use his head, use elbows, use his shoulders to pressure a guy and try to hit like a fucking quarterback. Especially in the super middleweight. Now, what I'm going to say is this: dirty fighting is a part of professional boxer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any professional boxer not use a dirty fighting at least once.
One or two.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, Tyson Fury tried the elbow. I'll say this, Leo. Golovkin, I've never seen him do anything dirty. I haven't.
Yeah. I want to tell you something.
No. Whenever Canelo slipped and Triple G pulled that punch, that tells you all you need to know about Triple G.
Golovkin, every time he cannot open the guard and make something work, he goes to a high guard, goes to close quarter to the other guy, and headbutts him. And
really?
He does it every time. When he's not able to open the guard and push punches together, because with Canelo, that was a common feature of that fight, that Golovkin wasn't really landing nothing on the sides. He wasn't landing hooks because Canelo was rolling under. But in order to land the uppercut, some of the times he went to a headbutt, and the moment the heads clashed, bam, the uppercut. And that was on purpose. And you're not gonna say me you didn't do it on purpose, but the referee didn't notice, so it's all good. For me, it's all good.
I mean, look, it's not something like, I wouldn't say Ward is a dirty boxer more than a crafty boxer. He's crafty in the pocket. I don't, some of this, like, I get it that some of this isn't by the book, but it's professional boxing, bro. Like what do we do? It's pro boxing, bro.
Unfortunately, shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, Shout out before I pass it to country. Edwin Castillo said James Toney is overrated, not an ATG, no elite wins.
I disagree.
Are you serious?
I disagree. He beat Nunn. He beat Barkley. He beat McCallum. He beat Jura.
Edwin Castillo, we know you started watching boxing in 2010 with that statement.
Hold on, he said James Toney, correct? I just want to make sure.
He said James Toney.
James Toney is overrated.
Didn't he become a heavyweight?
Is that what he said? He said James Toney.
No, that's what he said. I hope you're not.
He beat Evander Holyfield for the heavyweight championship.
No, I don't count. Listen, I don't count. Like, bro, come on. Holyfield was done.
84.
That's what I said. Holyfield was shot at that point.
He was done, but
James Toney body was shot too, though. Basically, he was a big tub of lard. He was a fat bag of black milk. He was a bag of chocolate milk.
My point is this. Is that James Toney definitely had wins that were elite wins that were good. He beat champions. He had the belt, a number of belts. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think he's overrated at all.
I don't think he's. If anything, I think he's underrated. Shout out to Rider of the Storm. Salute Jay and the panel.
No disrespect to Edwin, though.
No, Edwin is good money. We're not gonna agree on everything. That's all. Edwin is good money, though. Like, it's just, that's how some people feel. I don't agree with that, though. Ward was crafty with the nut shots. Here's my thing. When people talk about those nut shots, right? My thing is this. Go back and watch. Sergey Kovalev was hunkered over. He was literally hunkering over. Ward couldn't see his nuts, bro. He's just trying to dig into his body. And Kovalev is literally bending over and sinking into, like, when Tony Weeks comes to wave it off, Sergey is literally sitting on the ropes, bro. So I'm not gonna say, he was trying to punch him in the dick. Bro, he couldn't see his dick. His back is over it, bro. And he was off to the side trying to get in. So I never really agreed with the nut shot thing. I just
okay. Let me say this because this topic has no. Let me say this because this topic is a recent topic that has been discussed in the Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk fight. A belt line shot is under the discretion of the referee to decide if it's a legal blow or is it a low blow. That's it.
And
it's not under the discretion of me, of the fans, of anyone. It's under the discretion of the referee decide if the belt line shot is actually legal or not. That's it.
And not only that, but somebody raised a really good point I heard a while ago. Why didn't Kovalev hit him back? I mean, seriously, if dude's hitting you in the fucking nuts, why don't you hit him back so that he gives you respect for next time? He's gonna think twice. Yes.
Because
he should have slapped him with his dick.
I'll tell you exactly.
No, whatever gets you the respect, man. Like, if dude's over there hitting you in the balls repeatedly, just pull back, hit him as hard as you fucking can so he understands next time.
Hey, he could be like that one Russian dude.
Wait. Real talk is what should the strategy have been? Real talk.
Well, obviously Kovalev should have kept it hard and veiny.
Oh
and
God!
thick.
Here we go.
Oh no!
No!
Why do we have to go there?
It's a good strategy.
I mean, when Andre Ward would aim, he should have just punched him back with the dick.
That's all you need to do.
You should have had a little mini boxing glove on there, you know. Fucking flexes it. There's a bicep on that bitch.
Oh damn! All right. Let's get back to boxing. Damn it.
We are talking about boxing.
Yeah,
Dick boxing.
You're going to hell.
Did you say big boxing? Nasty.
Yo, dog.
Oh
He said he
my
should have
God.
given a little mini boxing.
Nasty.
I don't
Nasty.
make the rules.
And as y'all say this across the banner, it says, I wish
How
Amy
do you
Adams
let your
would
mind
lick
go
my
to that?
foreskin, right? Y'all say that shit.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Shout out to Bobby.
I watched a lot of Looney Tunes growing up, bro.
Bobby Light said Canelo being shorter would give him more leverage. I do agree with that. Andre Ward, he used to have a very good leverage mid-range to inside and in the clinch. But Canelo being so much shorter and so much stumpier, he would actually have better balance and better leverage in the pocket than Ward. So I agree with that.
Hey Jules, if we're not filled up, Caesar's asking for a link.
I bet. Let me post it right now.
I want to say something about Canelo loading up his punches against his opponents, especially in the middleweight division. Look, if you go there and Canelo sets up that punch, even if it doesn't really land often, that right hook, it goes loaded like a motherfucker. If you get hit with that on the guard, what happens next? Those motherfuckers they are not countering. Those motherfuckers they are being controlled by that punch.
That is true.
Except
for Bivol. Because Bivol showed that he was pounding on his arms, but it didn't do nothing. He was able to take it.
Salute to the panel.
Shout out to Luis Mosqueda, who says, any fight Ward was in, he did something dirty. Stop the cap. I don't know. What did he do dirty in
Low
the
blows.
Barrera
He's talking about the low
fight?
blows against Kovalev.
Yeah, but the shit is that I don't think that was dirty. If you go back and you watch the fight, Ward was off the Kovalev's on Kovalev's left side. He's working the body. He can't see where anything is because Kovalev is literally like this, like he's literally bending over. So he's just trying to keep working the body.
Trying to grab a handful.
Hey, can I say something that probably has gone unspoken for a long time?
Go ahead.
Really, it's up to the referee. It's at his discretion and what he sees. Sure, we could sit here and say, "Oh, that's against the rules," blah blah blah. But ultimately, we put these guys' lives in the third man's hands. Like he's supposed to watch out for the best interest of both fighters. If he doesn't see it, I'm sorry, then it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Bro,
No, the other thing is
Tony
let me say this. It was known Andre Ward from the first fight came to the realization that I need to go to Sergey's body. And if you watch the first fight, you literally see him come to that realization when he started jabbing at his midsection and he saw how much Sergey didn't like it. So I don't think it was his intention to hit him in the nuts. I think it was his intention to, stay on his body because he could take the head punches all day. It's the body shots that'll fuck him up because that's what was bothering him last time. Remember what the rumor was. The rumor was it was never confirmed. There's not like a tape of it, but the rumor was that Golovkin dropped that motherfucker with a body shot, and that rumor was around for years. They're like, yeah, Sergey's tough as shit. He could take the head punches, and he's strong as hell. He's got good feet, but he don't like it to the body. Golovkin dropped him to the body, so I don't think Ward was trying to punch him in the dick. I think he was just trying to keep hitting him in the body because that's what was breaking him down.
Honestly, that fight is the one I don't think Ward was dirty in because I think he was just trying to do body shots. I've seen him deliberately headbutt people, seen him deliberately elbow people. I've seen him deliberately nutshot some people, but
his nuts was located to his body. That's what it was.
I'll say this, that irrespective of his boxing, right? I'll say that I don't think all that much, or it used to seem like more to me, his legacy, because he retired at 32, a 2-division unified Ring Magazine champion. But now that we have Crawford and we have Inoue and we have Usyk, what he did seems very small to me, Like, look, your run as super middleweight is cool. It's not better than Usyk's run at cruiserweight. Nah, fam.
Yeah, like what do you do? Win the Super Series? Like, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? And then you think about Inoue. You think about Inoue and what he did at Bantam, the dominance, aside from the Donaire fight, but credit to Donaire because he's a Hall of Fame fighter, right? So, but he did great at that weight, and now look, he's doing it again. So when I think about Ward's joint, it's like, yo, dog, you really left unfinished food on the table, man.
Yeah,
and that would have helped.
Hey, Jules, y'all can bash Ward all you want because he beat my cousin Chad Dawson. He beat my man Chad Dawson. So I mean, listen, I like Ward, but y'all can go at him. I live in New Haven. I done been by Chad Johnson's gym. So because he beat my guy Chad Johnson, y'all can abuse Ward if you want to. But I think Canelo beats Ward. I think Canelo beats Ward just because he's better on the inside than Ward, and Ward is not an outside fighter. Outside of that, it's a really close fight.
That's a very good point. That is no, and I said that. Ward is not an outside fighter. He's a pure boxer, yes, but he's a mid-range to inside fighter, which is why he has all the little tactics, the little holding, the little all that extra shit. But it's not crazy to me.
To beat Canelo, you need length and girth.
And veins. You got to be veiny.
Oh, my God.
Very greasy, too.
All right, now I'm going to leave y'all with that one. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. I want y'all to sing songs of glory.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man does whatever Spider-Man does.
We're gonna have to crowd fund a chest X-ray for Julius here in the next 3 to 5 years.
You never know.
Don't say that.
Hey man, I want to make sure he's good.
What fight is coming up this weekend?
Yeah, because it's so crazy though, because I'm lighting up a Newport at the same time.
Well, hey, we'll get you one too,
bro. If it wasn't for
we got this weekend,
just know that Jules has no pecs though, man. He lying to us. He got a Peter Parker body.
What fight is coming up this weekend, y'all? This coming weekend.
This weekend is damn, I forgot. It's
Because I didn't see this last weekend one. I was busy.
I think it's a slow week this week.
Don't Shakur fight? No, don't Shakur fight?
MMA than boxing.
Did Shakur fight this
I
weekend?
know next Thursday we got next Thursday we got
Right, or Duarte, when is that one?
next Thursday we got Shakur versus De Los Santos.
Oh, that's next Thursday or this Thursday?
That's next Thursday. That's next Thursday, I
De Los
think.
Santos part 2? That Brazilian dude?
So wait, that means there's something big on this weekend. What is it?
I don't think there's anything big this weekend. I think this weekend's kind of light.
Yeah, this weekend's light, dog.
Yeah,
it's the next weekend afterwards. I think this weekend's almost a dead week.
We got a card on Tuesday, November 7th. It's Herring versus Molina, and then November 9th is Walsh versus Villarreal.
Yeah, this is a slow week. This is a real slow. This is the slowest week. This is the slowest weekend of the boxing year.
Okay, now
Friday is Eubank versus Schwartz Cup or whatever you call him. And let me see. And then Conto versus Webster.
Wow.
And then let me see. Saturday, November 11th, McCormick versus Dobson. And also that same day, Ruddock versus Tony.
Yeah, and Eubanks is getting out there again.
And then Mercado versus Nakatia. That also. That's what's coming up. All the way up to the 11th. That's what's coming up.
Yeah, this is one of the more subdued weekends of boxing.
Yeah.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't James Toney start out at super welterweight and made his way all the way up to heavyweight?
That is correct, I believe. He started at 154.
And didn't he beat Ruiz for the heavyweight title?
Hey, fellas, we got a good one coming up on November 16th, though. Navarrete and Conceição, man. And
that's on the same card. That's on the same card. That's on the same card.
Yeah, Stevenson De Los Santos.
Let's see if Navarrete can beat him without hip throwing him.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Conceição put up a better fight?
Yo, but Navarrete is under Shakur Stevenson's undercard.
Yeah, because they're setting up that fight to be next. Navarrete is gonna move up after this fight, and they're gonna fight. He's gonna probably fight Shakur after.
Okay, that's what I want to see. Yeah, because he's gonna make his work off of De Los Santos. I know that.
That's the plan. They already said it. That's the plan.
I have no idea. None.
You never.
And I still got Shakur on that fight versus Navarrete.
Yo, you never know what's going to happen because even Lee Wood said that he was interested in fighting Navarrete.
Yep, and we got what is it? Caramel? He wants to fight Lee Wood. He might be next.
Isn't that weird how like everyone wants to fight Navarrete right until they take the first punch, and it's like, be careful what you wished for.
Man, they acting because I don't believe they want to fight Navarrete. Like all that is to me, Navarrete is a nightmare for all of them. If it's me, I pick Navarrete to beat the shit out the whole 130. All of them, every single one.
Even Shakur,
he's easily the best at 130 right now.
Nah, 130. Shakur's at 135.
Okay.
That's like the only guy that I would give odds to beat. Like, bro, y'all not on that dude with his shit that he be doing. He is just on another level of shit that y'all boxing. He is fucking you up.
He got the triple G chin.
Yeah,
I'm calling Navarrete the machine. That's his nickname. I'm calling Navarrete the machine.
Jules, finish this quote with great power
comes great responsibility.
I like that.
You see the shit? You see the shit? I'm Spider-Man out here. Spider-Man out
here. With great power comes great thrust. Great power comes great thrust.
Listen, I ordered the mask. It's coming separately in fucking on the 12th. Hopefully it comes before that.
I need a mask like that.
I'm gonna do the whole live like that, bro. I'm gonna watch a fight with the Spider-Man suit, B.
You can't take it off now.
I'm gonna take it off, and y'all gotta call me Peter the whole live.
Hey, I hope it has a hole in the mouth so you can smoke it.
I made sure I read the reviews so that I would be able to watch the fight through the mask. I'm doing it, B. I'm doing it like for real, yo. It's Spider-Man out here.
What you talking about? You're fucking Miles Morales.
Wait, why the fuck would we call Spider-Man Peter?
De verdad, yo soy Miguel. De verdad, I should have got the Spider-Man 2099 porque yo soy Miguel. Yo soy Miguel Ojara. Eso se sabe. I'm not Peter or Miles, bro. I'm yo soy Miguel. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro. Shout out to my man Luis Mosqueda. me see what the super chat say. Next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what do you think is going to happen next? Luis says, I'm still mad at Julio saying Cordin. Yeah, he's bugging. Like, I think he like, bro, you seen how he looked yesterday with Curiel, and Curiel I'm not Curiel, with Vasquez, and Vasquez is not even a big puncher, bro. I love fuck. You know I love fucking up people.
No, because I was listening to you while I was cooking, right? And my girl was like, she heard you say it, she fucking turned her head. I'm like, nah, he's just fucking with you. He does it for people like you.
Yo, like I said, for those that don't know, for those that are new to the channel, when I was a kid, whenever they would do attendance, they would butcher my name, like literally every school. And I got kicked out of a lot of schools, by the way. So every school, they would butcher my name because my name is very uncommon. They would. I'm not going to say it because I ain't going to say it. I ain't even going to say it. It's uncommon, so they would butcher my shit. So I grew up with a childhood trauma that whenever the first day of school would start, here we go with this shit again. So,
hey, Jules.
correct. Was it Guadalupe?
Hey, Jules.
No, it's a nombre común, Guadalupe. That's a normal name. I wish my name was Guadalupe. They would probably know how to say that.
Hey, Jules. Emmanuel Abasa wants to know. He says, Jules, why does Miles Morales use his mother's maiden name and not his pop's?
They said, I remember I read that the father didn't want Miles to use his name because his name is attached to criminality due to the uncle and all of that shit. So he didn't want Miles. That's the explanation. Even though
Miles Davis,
I don't really believe that. Like believe it. More like as a story, bro. I'm a guy. Why would I not? I don't give a fuck about what my brother did. That's my son. He's gonna have my name. And if somebody's like if you think about it in terms of a story. Well, why wouldn't you want your son to have your name so that he could break the chain of all the negativity?
If we're being real, the real reason they did it is because they wanted to play on both demographics.
No, if we're going to be honest, you want the real reason. When they made Miles, they didn't think about it. I remember when they made Miles. They made Miles when I was young, and people were not receptive to that at first because there was a feeling that if you want to make a Puerto Rican superhero, just make a Puerto Rican superhero. Don't change the one that we love. That was the feeling in the beginning, that he was not received well in the very beginning. But what tends to happen with characters is they do evolve. Good stories get written and characters get rounded out. That there's a lot of characters that started out very two-dimensional, not very interesting. But over time, with writing, you round them out. With Miles, it's simple. Y'all didn't think about it. Y'all probably was going to do that he was a bastard when y'all first came up with this idea, which is why he got his mama name instead of his daddy's. That's probably what y'all was going to write. Then realize it.
Said Miles was Dominican.
Shit, nah. He would have been Miguel or Miguel Angel. Miguel Angel Gutierrez instead of Morales. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't think about it. In any event, the next subject is this Netflix shit. Y'all know the rumor. They saying that Al is talking to Netflix. My first question to all of y'all is, do y'all believe it?
Fuck no.
Do I believe
Nah.
What plays live on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay.
Who believes it? All right. All the people that don't believe it, say aye.
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 The people that do believe it, say aye.
Aye.
You believe it?
I believe he's talking to them. I don't know if they're listening.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Okay, so if you believe that he's talking to them, do you believe it's possible that they'll end up there?
It depends on how desperate for content Netflix is, because from what I understand, I could be wrong, but all the K-dramas are what's keeping them afloat right now in terms of streaming. So they may be desperate for anything to stick. That makes more sense to me, the Netflix deal, than the Amazon deal, because I know you disagree with me, Jules, but I just think that I know it's through Japan, but they've run boxing on Amazon before. They've run MMA on Amazon before. They have people they can talk to and just go, yeah, I know, dog. Al Heyman's full of shit. Don't get in business with him. Netflix. So I think Netflix is just another ignorant people with money to burn.
Well, see, that's the problem, though, dude. If Netflix takes Al and lets him do what he wants, like he was doing before, he'll end up making them go the way of Showtime eventually. If it goes like that.
Well,
I've never heard of Netflix doing live content.
Now, this is what I was going to say. I was actually going to touch on that. That what I heard is the same thing that Jason heard, and this does not pertain to boxing. That ever since Paramount Plus and HBO Max and the growth of Hulu over time, Netflix had the streaming market cornered. You guys remember that? Like, they was the biggest streaming shit of shit. But then everybody started coming out with their own apps, and now you got to compete with all these people. And when you look at the library of movies that Paramount has, right? The library of movies that HBO Max has, and then you look at that Netflix shit, it's like, y'all don't even really got nothing like that. Like, not really, because now you have the movie studios using their own content for their apps, like Paramount. So the idea that the well is running dry for Netflix, and now they want to experiment with live sports, I could believe that because of that I know y'all been getting your ass beat out here for a couple of years now because of all these other apps. So I can believe it. But wait, Rick said, shout out to Rick Glacier, he said, that's bullshit. All of that is made up. They just saying that because they want Amazon to give them more money. So what do y'all think about that?
I think that Al Heyman...
Okay, let me say this. If I was to extrapolate Netflix content, the writers, how they producing their shows, to the level of intelligence they have on that company, those motherfuckers are idiots. I think Al Heyman goes there, and I think he can con his way into a deal. I think he can con his way into a deal.
Because they don't know nothing.
No. Those guys are idiots.
They don't know nothing. They don't know. And that's,
go ahead, Ray.
I'll say one thing. What he relies on is dealing with people that don't know the market, which is why he doesn't want to go to DAZN. DAZN knows more about boxing than Netflix. Like, yes, they know more about. They don't have to be the god, but they know more about boxing than Netflix. All right, go ahead, bro.
I was thinking though, like they attached Jake Paul's name to it, and I'm like, Jake Paul hasn't come out said anything. Like nothing. Netflix hasn't said anything. So I'm like leaning toward more Rick Glacier is saying. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe he talked to him, threw him a pitch, but I don't know if anything's sticking. Like why is Jake isn't Jake with DAZN?
That's the other thing, that his next fight is with DAZN. His
and
very
Jake
next.
Got nothing to do with Showtime.
But if you look at a tweet, Devontae, if you look at a tweet that Jake posted this weekend, he said, "Yeah, we playing chess over here, right?" So it kind of like it's open to interpretation what he meant by that. Like maybe he is talking to Netflix. Maybe he's talking to them because the DAZN deal about to be up after this fight. Maybe, right?
So maybe okay, that's him, but he's not associated with PBC.
No,
Jake?
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, what do they have to offer? They don't have the fighters. They don't have any young talent over there. The fighters are getting older. They don't have many champions over there.
They don't.
What do they got to offer? Canelo?
Yeah, how many more years do y'all give the PBC?
Well, that's the other thing, that the bargaining chip that they have, which is a big chip, is you literally have the biggest draw in boxing, and you can look him up. You have that, and that is a bargaining chip for at least one calendar year, because in one calendar year you'll do 2 Canelo Alvarez fights. So you have that, and you have Gervonta. They could always talk up Gervonta on the predication that, look, in his last fight, he sold 1 million pay-per-views. They could tell the story how they want to tell it to people that don't know any better. They're like, you do realize that Ryan has something to do with that. It wasn't just him by himself. He has something to do with that, who he was fighting. They don't know the business.
Hey, Jules, but check it out. Also, too, they're, the record of like the majority of a lot of their fighters losing to like other fighters who are worth their salt, like some from Top Rank and like, Matchroom and stuff. That's not going to bode well for them either.
They're not going to look that deep, bro. They're not going to look that deep because they don't know the business. They're not going to. That's stuff that hardcores know, because hardcores know all the fighters. Whereas if you're going to Netflix, they don't fucking know that. They have no clue, which is why he wants to go over there, because they don't know nothing.
Well, Jules, even on top of all that, what do we know one thing about Al Heyman? We know that he's a bullshitter. We know he's been on how many TV stations? He's done this to how many people, including Fox, including Spike, and including how many other Anyway, point is,
hold up. You got as much as I get on Allen BBC. Some of these 11 networks that we're bashing them for, they were paying for those time slots. You got to understand that they deserve some bashing, but we're over bashing because some of those were they wouldn't getting money from the networks. They were paying those networks for the time slots.
No, but this is my thing. When you're one at a time, when you're paying for the time and they decide they don't want to pay, like, what do you think he was paying them for? What do you think he's giving them that money for? It's in the hopes that they go into business with him. Like, yeah, that's the hope. The hope is that you'll pay for that time and they'll see what the numbers are and they'll like what the numbers are, then they'll give you a deal. But they like, nah, we'll just take the money. Take the money.
That's the point. This isn't his first rodeo. He knows how to do business with these people and how to one over on the best of them. The thing is has his time run out? Has the well run dry? Are they actually going to take a chance on this crap?
The shit is that he's like, honestly, I just don't think that he's as smart as people say he is for one reason. The major companies are all consolidating, not exclusive to what we're talking about, this boxing shit. Paramount absorbed Showtime, right? They're consolidating. That's the move right now. That's what all the major people are doing. They're consolidating. Because it's specialty content right now. People that want to watch movies literally just want to watch movies. People that want to watch old 80s shit just want to watch old 80s shit. And people that want to watch sports, they just want to watch sports. So ideally, you would go to where the sports are. Common sense that I don't have to fight for eyes because this entire platform caters to sports fans. So what we're looking for in the eyes that we want, they're already there on that DAZN platform, but you don't want to go. And I'm like, I don't want, like, bro, they will give you a budget to do fights. You will get fight dates. What are you thinking? And it's just about taking more money from some poor schmo that don't know shit about boxing. That's what I see. Because when y'all jumped in a bet with Fox didn't know shit about boxing. They don't know nothing.
And can I add something real quick? Here's one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. When they go to DAZN, they'll be tested more regularly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's that too. That the other thing, the main thing that would make going to DAZN unattractive for someone like him is you're not the boss of all bosses anymore. You actually answer to Joe Markowski, Len Blavatsky, all them higher ups. You would be under someone's thumb if you went over there. And I don't really think Al is used to that because I've always been of the opinion that Stephen Espinoza is supposed to have been telling him what to do, but that's not the relationship that they had. Ideally, the Showtime executive tells you, I want A, B, C, and D, and you need to make it happen because you get your budget from us. We don't get a budget from you. You literally get the money you need to do fights from us. So when we say jump, you say how high. That's not the relationship they had. Stephen being such a peon, it looked like you was getting orders from Al instead of giving them. Whereas if you go to this DAZN platform, yeah, that's not going to be the dynamic, bro. That's not going to be the dichotomy. You will have to answer to people.
Yeah, and Julius, remember that Eddie Hearn has been with DAZN for a while. If Eddie Hearn has been talking with the higher ups on DAZN at least a couple of times, and I got asked about PBC and Heyman, Eddie Hearn was talking greasy about that motherfucker. He knows everything he needs to know about Al Heyman already.
No, and the other thing is that you can't lie. If you and Eddie and Oscar are operating in the same market, all three of you, you don't have the luxury of bullshitting the broadcast partner anymore because they can consult with Oscar. Oscar, he said A, B, C, and D. Is that true? No. That shit ain't gonna sell nothing. Blowing money on that bullshit.
All I know is if I'm a boxer for Al Heyman, I'm going where I'm going to get fights, and if that means I got to leave, then I'm leaving.
Remember one thing with DAZN. Like here's how much they do not have to listen to Al Heyman if he goes there. Al Heyman is technically not a promoter; he's an advisor.
Exactly.
He has no real legal standing if you actually examine some of these contracts due to the Ali Act.
Exactly, or he's not supposed to, which is for those that are confused about that, which I've touched on many times. And hey, shut the fuck up! You know what I'm saying? I was talking to the microphone. What I would say.
Watch it, she got throw something at you, man.
Even Spider-Man has enemies. Nah, I was gonna say that.
Jill's trying to die tonight.
Yeah.
You know, Jill's gonna be talking and Mike and something gonna come flying through on the side, hit him in the head.
My spider sense will see it. What I was gonna say was he uses that advisor role because he's doing like 3 jobs at the same time so that he can have that control over these fighters. That's why the contracts are so shitty. Like, bro, you're not supposed to have that much power over a fighter, but you do because, well, you're violating the Ali Act. You're the advisor, you're the manager. Technically, you're the promoter. You just don't call yourself that. But when someone goes to broker a deal with the broadcaster, who goes? You go. The same way Bob will go to ESPN to broker the deal with ESPN, you go to the Fox and broker the deal with them.
Are you saying Tom Brown didn't come with them for the ride?
Of course, Tom might be a part of it, but we know Tom ain't running the show. Come on now. Tom ain't nothing but a henchman. You make the coffee, bro. You make the coffee day to day.
He like Sammy the Bull without the snitching.
Basically. So it's like you can see what, why, and how, and for what reason they're doing things the way they're doing. And that does get harder to do when you have somebody that's going to ask you questions. Like at the Zone, they're not going to let you run wild. Like, nah, fam. They have their modicum of a standard, and you don't get to run wild, especially when there are 2 other in-house promoters. So you don't just get to bullshit these guys because there's 2 other in-house promoters right there operating out of the same market that you are. And if the Zone feels shaky about something you're doing, they can ask them about it, and they'll blow that shit out the water. Especially Oscar, bro. You think Oscar wouldn't relish the chance to fuck his shit up? He would love it.
He's so stable. Yeah, he'd love to do it.
And you know this whole Netflix thing ain't nothing but a rumor for posturing for negotiation purposes.
Well, that's what Rick said, but and I'm not even discounting what Rick said. It's just that it doesn't sound crazy that Netflix, in a desperate effort, might want to buy into live sport. Like, yeah, I can see that because y'all running dry in terms of content. You know,
but they running green now too. That's the thing, though. Netflix is in the green now. They're in the black.
They in the green now.
They are. In the black now. Yeah, they last earnings call was phenomenal. That's why their stock went up.
Oh shit! Shut up. So maybe they got some money to play. They want to do some live sports.
I can't have everybody and their mama on my Netflix account. You got to pay an extra $9.99 to add a person. So they lost a couple subscribers, but the overall revenue increased.
I forgot that they did that. That was a few months ago. That there's like they're not going to let people share.
That was like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, they're not going to let people share accounts. They're not going to let people share accounts anymore. I forgot about that. That's some sucker shit, though. What if you got more than one TV? You saying you can't log in to more than one television?
No, it recognizes the region. You can do it on the TV if it's local right there. But like my mom is in Alabama, right? I have to pay an additional $9.99 to give her access to the account. So that means if it's in your home, cool. But let's say your cousin that lives 2 cities down wants to log into your Netflix, you ain't gonna be able to do it like you used to do it before. You gotta pay that additional $9.99. Hey, look, it's the nature of business, man. They trying to get squeezed. They squeezing every dollar, you know.
It is. I can't get mad at it, and I don't really watch Netflix anyway. My go-tos is Paramount, HBO Max.
My go-to is YouTube. I don't even watch TV like that anymore.
And Brazzers.
And Brazzers, I gotta watch.
I had to get on.
Amazon Prime is goated because you can rent movies and shit.
Yeah, I had to get on Rick the other day because he was getting on Eddie Hearn about having his champions lose to obscure fighters or other fighters.
No, I made a video about that shit today that I was like, bro, you don't make no sense.
It's the whole point. We don't want to have a bunch of protected fighters. That's the whole thing. We want to see fighters in dangerous fights. That's the whole point, right?
Like what you saying that he need to match him softer and match him safer. That's what we need in boxing this year. More of that. That's why Showtime got driven into the fucking ground. Too much soft matchmaking. To me, look, I don't know what the beef he has is with Eddie, but I'm just gonna say Rick's not a bad guy. But when it come to Eddie, yeah, he says a lot of stupid. Like, you sound stupid, fam. Talking about Laura, for example, you talking about when Laura beat Warrington. Who the fuck signed Laura right after that? Take a wild guess. Eddie. And didn't we get a whole string of great fights after that? We got Lara versus Warrington 2. It wasn't great, but we got Lara versus Wood 1 and 2, and those was great. So it's like, what advice can you give him? What are you doing right now that he would need advice from you? Who's doing better, you or him? He's brokering deals with people in Japan, Australia, UK, US, Canada, Mexico, Italy. What are you doing?
I think he worked for Bob personally.
No, listen. That's why I'm about to listen. I like Rick a lot, but where his bread is being buttered is on the top ranked side, and he's a lot less critical on the top ranked side of things. I told him that, and that's why it makes it difficult, because he be saying a lot of true shit, but a lot of people don't take it as face value because you can see the slant. You know, he can't stand PBC. He's pretty critical of Matchroom. Now he'll talk about Top Rank, but he does it in a much softer way, and people see that. You know.
Yeah, but another thing is, when you do that, you're brainwashing people, or you're trying to, and there's no end game. There's not a pot of gold at the end of what you're doing, because the reality is they're good and they're literally still growing. They just formed a partnership in Japan, but you keep trying to pretend they don't know what they're doing. It's like, it's sad to watch, to be honest. It's like, what do you expect? They in the black. And they've been in the black, and you can go look up their books, because their books are a matter of public record in the UK. They're literally in the black.
Bro,
a lot of people in America,
because they don't have Canelo anymore, and PBC's having a big year. They're trying to shit on Matchroom in the zone, because
also everybody thinks that the zones, the losses they incurred for those 2 previous years had something to do with Matchroom, when most of the losses had nothing to do with Matchroom. Matchroom's budget was only probably about 5% of their overall budget, or what they got to spend.
Exactly. And you know how many times I've had to say that the money that they lost, not only did they anticipate losing it, they intended to lose it, because they wanted to buy the sports rights to different sports in different markets. So they got
the NFL. They got the NFL rights for in the UK. If you want to watch the NFL in the UK, you go to the zone.
Exactly. I'm like, and you tell and you say this shit, and it's like, I might as well be talking to children if I say it on Twitter, because you just go like, all right, bro.
Hey, Jules, I got a question for you. I think I know the answer.
You a shill.
Jules, I got a question. I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to clarify, because I saw somebody mention something, so I want to ask you. When it comes to Saudi Arabia and the boxing and the connection to the Prince, skills challenge is no longer involved. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're disbanded. That was Prince Khalid. I forgot the Amir. That was Prince Khalid and Amir Abdallah. And remember that they had signed Badu Jack and they had signed Alexander Usyk. Remember, right before everything hit the fan. Well, now all of that is done, and the man with the plan, the man in charge, is Turki Al-Sheikh. There's no more skills challenge.
Why did that fall apart so quickly?
Because of Tyson Fury.
Nah, I ain't even gonna say that. I wonder if it's not a family thing. Remember, it's Prince Khalid. That's not Joe Blow Khalid. That was Prince Khalid. So I don't know if they felt that the Prince was mismanaging the money, or they just didn't like the direction of where he was taking things. But it seems to me, what I'm seeing is that Prince Khalid knew more about boxing than Turki Al-Sheikh does. He must have known more about the market, because doing Joshua versus Wilder, that was his plan. And doing Joshua versus Wilder, look, you don't have to like those fighters, because that's not the conversation. The fact of the matter is, if you would have did that, that still makes money. Fury versus Ngannou, and I said it ahead of the fight, I'm not being a hater. I'm telling you, Ngannou was not McGregor in the UFC. Don't get it twisted. He was not putting up the numbers that McGregor was putting.
No, and you can add on to that people were actually mad at Ngannou because he left UFC and didn't fight John Jones.
Exactly. So when I thought about it, I'm like, well, Ngannou, don't expect Maymac numbers. Why? Because Ngannou's not McGregor. He ain't even Ronda Rousey. And then you look at Fury, bro, Fury is not the top draw in boxing. The top 2 draws in boxing, everybody know who they are. It's Canelo and Joshua. Those are the top 2 draws, not Fury.
Matter of fact, and Fury ain't even number 3. I'd put Tank before I put Fury at this point.
So when you think about, hold on. Whose idea was it to prioritize that over Joshua versus Wilder? Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's the one who pulled the funding from that fight. He's the one who pulled the funding from that.
Is this Turkey Al-King? Is that what? Because I had that for lunch yesterday. Is that?
It was pretty good if you put a little short cut on it.
I just got confused. I don't know if Turkey Al-King we were talking about or Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Al-Sheikh.
Oh,
and
my bad. I'm sorry.
Like I was saying, it seems to me like the Prince Khalid, skills challenge. I feel like maybe he understood boxing a little better than Turkey Al-Sheikh because he was the one who wanted to make that mega card, and I feel like he at least knew if we do the Joshua versus Wilder fight, even if it's not for any belts, that'll make a lot of money. Whose idea was it to not do it? Turkey Al-Sheikh. Who put all the priority on Fury and Ngannou? Turkey Al-Sheikh.
But it disbanded because of Fury, though, because they didn't. The thing is, he might have knew more about boxing, but because of all the bullshit Fury did, they didn't get the fights made, and that's probably why they moved. They end up switching because the fights
be that way, but they're still doing Fury versus Usyk. So can we say that? See, what I think is completely different. What I think is they bought into what someone told them. It's got to be that you started listening to something Frank said, you started listening to something Bob said, and you must have believed that shit, not realizing these guys ain't the money. Fuck that Twitter shit, because honestly, I'm kind of tired of even talking to anyone on Twitter. That shit is not real, first off. This is the real fucking world. And in the real fucking world, I know that real Brits is tired of that motherfucker. I know that for a fact. And I know that you was never the sweetheart. I know that more than these American fans that think they know something about Tyson Fury. I know they hated your ass. I know some of them hate your ass right now. I know that there's a reason you being what you are is a part of the reason that you not the face over there. Because they don't like, I ain't trying to be fucked up, but real is real, and that's the politics. Yeah, they don't like y'all motherfuckers. You know that. They have never liked y'all motherfuckers over there. That's why you can't be the face. That's a part of why you hate the AJ kid. Because he became the face, and you know you could never be the face. And even now, what do the numbers consistently show? That you not the face, bro. No matter how hard, no matter what they say, no matter how many featurettes they put on TNT or ESPN, you not the face, bro. You not. They could pour all that money down the drain trying to make you famous. How much money did Top Rank waste on the Schwartz fight, on the Valine fight, on the Wilder fight, on the Wilder rubber match? All of that lost money. All of that.
Julius, I have a question to you about that. The past fight, Francisco Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. That fight in the USA flopped.
Yes.
Effectively. But is there any numbers of the UK?
Sporting Icons did a video on it earlier today. I think he uploaded it earlier today. And according to him, he would know. He has great sources, by the way, if y'all not familiar with him. He said that shit flopped over there, too.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
So when are we going to... No. Is there any number?
He said in the neighborhood of 400... I watched it today. He said in the neighborhood of 400,000 at 20 plus pounds. Something like that. 20 pounds or 28 pounds, something like that. So when you do the numbers on that...
So that's about, what, 30 American maybe, or 35?
35 American multiplied by 400,000. And they spent, remember what they gave Fury for a purse? 50 million.
Yeah, they lost
nowhere near.
They lost about 35 million.
Well, not only that, but neither guy was really a draw to begin with. I mean,
now here's the thing. Now let me give you a little bit of context, though. You have to also understand that this was for Riyadh season. Money is no object to these people. It's not. Money is no object to these people. So that's why when you saw Turkey Al-Sheikh do the interview, for those that saw it, he said, "We're not worried about the money. You know, it's important, but it's not that important. You know, that should let you know right then and there that maybe it wasn't your intention to turn over a profit. Maybe it wasn't make or break if you did, but you still can't lose that amount of money and don't ask yourself, yeah."
XQ said they charged 22 pounds for the price of the in the UK for Fury and Ngannou. 22 pounds.
Okay. You can't lose that amount of money and don't say, yeah, we miscalculated. we miscalculate because it can't be our intention to lose this much money, bro. Even if we did, even if it doesn't hurt us, because money is no object to those people. If you don't realize, like they have,
I think their silver lining in all of it is the fact that it's not big. Excuse me, it spread like wildfire. You know, now everybody's talking about it, and
yeah,
that's like
you
the
know that
silver lining.
the rematch could be bigger than the first fight if they did it, but you have a problem, and I don't know what those people's knowledge of anything is, to be honest with you. But this is very simple, and this is why boxing is in trouble. Y'all keep trying to get around what people ask you for. You do. You keep trying to get around. People don't want Fury and Ngannou. They want Fury, Usyk. Very simple. If you do it, it will do good numbers in the UK. I don't know about the US. I know it'll do good numbers in the UK. And I know that if you structure this right, you'll make some money in Germany. You will also make some money in Poland because many of the Ukrainians are in Poland. So you see how you monetize that, because those are the two core demographics that will be interested in this fight. Maybe you make it a pay-per-view in Poland for $10 a pop or $20 a pop, but that's where your money is. In America, get what you can. I don't know how interested Americans are in a Brit and a Ukrainian. Get what you can. I don't know. But what I know is your money fight is that fight. It's not all this other shit. It's literally that fight. That's your money fight, all right? After that, if the kid is still around and he's still winning, then it's the AJ fight. That's your next money fighter, right? But other than that, Fury is never gonna beat a golden goose, bro. Never.
Well, and I'm gonna say this. I think this is a fact right now. It's a proven fact. You can make numbers with Tyson Fury, but if you're talking about money, Tyson Fury is bad business. It is, because you're gonna end losing money on that guy.
Only with the right opponent can you make good money with Fury. Without the right opponent,
and the problem with Fury is, especially now, yes, you can make numbers with him if you have the right dance partner, but the amount of money it's going to take to get him to do it, you're going to end up losing money.
You're going to end
as the number one Tyson Fury hater on this panel. You just need to. He's just going to ask too much every time, because his whole thing is that he's going to make money, because that's what he does. He just asks for a lot of money, and he'll spin a yarn of bullshit, and people will find it funny and amusing, like some may have once upon a time, and others will just look through it.
And it's not even that the money doesn't exist. You see, it's like Wilder versus Fury 2 is the best example. If the guarantees were kept within reason, very low, because your guarantees for the first fight weren't big at all. They came to a grand total of $7 million in guarantees, 4 for Wilder, 3 for Fury. Right? It's easier to get into the plus if the guarantees and the operational costs are low. It's easier to get into the plus. What it takes to get you fucks to do anything, it requires so much money, right? It's near impossible to get into the plus.
And the one thing you're leaving out, and this is very important, is that Tyson Fury, by virtue, is volatile. You don't know what this guy's going to do. Just yesterday, we were talking about him retiring. So really, in theory, you can make numbers with the guy, but is he good for it? I don't think he is. I think he's just so unstable. Yeah. He's so unstable. I mean, you try to make the Usyk fight. Maybe he does it. Maybe he doesn't. It's not guaranteed money at this point.
He's all over the damn map is the problem.
I feel like they look at raw metrics when it comes to Fury. If you look at raw metrics devoid of context, you will see spikes. But to really know the value of him, you have to look deeper. Why was there a spike in talks about Fury earlier this year? Because he pissed everybody off. Yes, a lot of people are talking about him, but not in a good way. It's because he pissed everybody off. You look now. Oh, there's another huge spike of on Google in the metrics and all of that stuff on Fury. Yes, because you got sat on your ass and embarrassed
laughing
the sport.
at you.
Yes, they're exactly they talking about you, but not in a good way. So don't confuse that. Don't confuse that with money. That's not money.
Let me say this. Look, I don't pay so much attention to Tyson Fury anyways, because it makes him mad. He lies all the time. What it really infuriates me is people that argue about Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury said that I don't give a fuck what he said. He always lying. He's always lying all the time. It doesn't matter what he says he was going to do, because probably he's not gonna do what he says he's gonna do. Never.
The most honorable thing he could do, Leo, is the most honorable thing he could do is go lose. That's the only way people will forgive you. Go lose. Because if you retire, if you think what you're going to do is retire, then come back in a few months and have the rematch with Ngannou, if you try to retire undefeated without fighting this man, they're never going to forgive you.
You're not going to be able to go to a bar. You're not going to be able to go to a store. You can't do shit without
Can't do
something.
shit, bro. Can't do shit.
Can't
you have to fight him. And don't think, because él piensa como un cobarde. So what he might think is, oh, somebody else will come along and beat Usyk. Yeah, and they're going to expect you to fight somebody else.
Can we expect the chat to hit like and subscribe, because it sucks? 200 people in here, 65 likes. Just hit the fucking button.
What the fuck?
Hit the button now.
Shout out to my man Optimus.
There's a lot of hate watch when you're right.
Shout out to my man Optimus Prime. Shout out Ring IQ. Real talk. Has Tyson Fury overmade? Top rank ESPN. Any profit? Yo, the only fight that I saw in the last 2 years that may have yielded a profit was the White fight. That's the only fight that I saw where it's like, yeah, maybe they're in the plus, but the only reason they're in the plus is because they're lying about the purse bid. You didn't actually like don't believe the 41 million. Yeah, they put that in, but I believe that Tyson Fury was cavorting with Frank to ensure that the fight doesn't go to Matchroom, because Matchroom upped the ante. He doesn't want to go fucking box on Matchroom. You know that. So he'll play along with Frank. Yeah, just up it to 46 million. I don't believe y'all. Y'all not dumb. Y'all not fucking dumb. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only fight that I could say that I saw that maybe yielded a profit. And if they were realistic about the Chisora fight, maybe that one too. Maybe. And I'm saying maybe because we don't really know what TNT and Frank, we don't really know what they do. You know, they don't always tell you. There's times you're not gonna know what the numbers were. Who else?
You got one
Shout
more
out
from
to
LJ.
Let me look at that one. Shout out to LJ. Saudi paid all those celebrities. Fury failed all of them. That's the other thing. What that whole soiree costed to put on, you know, the whole soiree, the whole thing. They paid all those people to be out there. It's not that they just went out there because they felt like it. They paid all those people. So the operational costs, right? Beats did a video on it. And it looked like y'all really blew $100 million, just to not make no money. And I said ahead of the fight that Ngannou is not McGregor, Fury's not Mayweather. He's not the top drawing boxer. Neither one of you two are the top drawing what you do. So if y'all thinking that y'all could put them together and it'll be some Maymax shit, I know that it won't be. Remember Frank Warren said this is gonna be bigger than McGregor versus Mayweather. I'm like, yeah,
smoking dick.
Okay.
Yeah, you bugging.
But you have to remember, these people don't. You said it earlier. These people don't care about money. Like, how many hundreds of millions have they blown on their little golf live thing? Like, they don't care.
Well, golf is profitable. Yeah, but golf is profitable, bro.
They took over the PGA. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
They came up.
The Live already talked about how they had to start reducing costs. A lot of the players were talking about how they started cutting back on the food they were given and shit like that. So, I mean, I'm not saying golf isn't profitable, but the PGA is profitable. Live going off on their own, they're not getting the same. They're not getting the same amount of clout. They're not getting the same amount of likes. They're not getting the same amount of eyes and ears on them. So yeah, it's profitable. We're talking about an upstart league though. So let's be honest about that.
Yeah, but they're partnered with PGA at this point.
Well, now they were. No, you're correct. They are. But before, I'm talking about what happened before. So you're correct. But before they were partnered, they just started partnering with the PGA in the last like 4 or 5 months. But before that, they were hemorrhaging money. So it wasn't because golf isn't profitable, but it has to be done correctly. And they weren't doing it correctly because they were spending a lot of money.
I'm gonna go
So
take a
PGA is
shit.
gonna give them the structure, and they gonna provide the money, basically.
Listen,
I believe you.
unbiased. I'm gonna go take a shit. I want you to sing old Jodeci songs till I come back.
No.
I can't leave you alone. Hey, you got me feeling. Okay, we done.
Jodeci is a shit though.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, I be having long talks about the old school R&B. That's my lane.
One of my favorite albums.
So-
when people ask me what a perfect album is, the show, the hotel, the after party, from like top to bottom. That's a perfect album.
That was a very good album, top to
Love that
bottom.
album.
Definitely.
Love that album.
Definitely. You should see the story of how many people was involved in that. Like last night, I was listening and watching about Static Major, rest in peace, who died. Basically, the hospital killed him. He was in a group called Player. They had a song called "Cheers to You."
Oh,
That was a popular song.
No, they were phenomenal. The two of those guys.
He
from
helped
Player
write
now,
write some of Aaliyah's material.
they all came from Timberland and
No, they all
Missy
came up
Elliott.
together. They didn't come from Timberland. They did it together.
No.
They all
I'm saying
did it
they all
together.
as a collective. You're correct. As a
Yeah.
collective, they all came together because Jodeci came out of that. I mean, they all came out as a collective in Virginia, if I'm correct.
Well,
But yeah.
Devontae was the big G. That was the big G. Devontae Swing.
Yep. He
was Timberland's mentor. You know.
Yes. Two of those dudes in Player are actually now part of Drew Hill. I don't know if you know that or not.
For real?
Yeah, I swear to God, go look it up
Oh,
right
I
now.
didn't even know that. Wow, that's fire.
The other two guys, because after Player, they put the one album out in '98. Which was a great album, by the way. Whenever they broke up, Static Major died. I think he died in probably 2002, 2003, maybe
It was 2003, guys. That's
Okay,
correct.
right
It was
around
2008.
there.
It was 2008 because you know what it was. He did a milli. He did a milli for Lil Wayne.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Well, they end up a couple guys dropped out of Drew Hill, and the 2 or 3 remaining guys in Drew Hill actually went and recruited the other 2 guys from Player, and they're actually now in the group. So when you go see Drew Hill, you're actually seeing the 2 remaining guys from the group Player.
That is fire. I didn't know that. Thank you. I'm going to go. Actually, yeah, that's crazy.
Go check it out.
Hey, I got a real quick. I want to make a point just about DAZN because a lot of people were like, "Oh man, DAZN's trash," blah blah blah. But I'm watching anyway. You know what? DAZN was designed for people who are into more sports than just boxing. So, I mean, the only reason we all mess with DAZN is because they got boxing. If they didn't have boxing, the overwhelming majority of all of us probably wouldn't be subscribed whatsoever. So, I don't know I don't think it's fair to say that DAZN is trash when, you got to be into more sports than just boxing. You know what I mean?
But there's a reason why they say DAZN is trash.
Will outlast PBC because DAZN doesn't cater to just boxing.
No, here's the issue that DAZN has in America, though. Let's keep it a bean here. This is the problem that DAZN has in America. America gets much less of the content at a higher cost. When you get free pay-per-views in UK for the stuff that we're paying for, America market is just getting gouged across the board. So that's why we all hope that we would love to see Top Rank and PBC on DAZN, and we paid a flat $30 a month and we get all the fights and only get 2 pay-per-views. You save money that way. That's the actual best way to have it. But the reason why that ain't gonna happen is multiple factors. But as a consumer in the United States, the DAZN platform is much less of a product than it is for the people in UK and around the world. That's what it is.
The second biggest issue that we have with DAZN is that it's owned by an Englishman. I don't know about you guys, but there is definitely a lot of hatred towards the British. Like, if you listen, I've actually gotten into it with some, very known people about AJ and how they just big up Tyson Fury this whole time, because he's with the DAZN. No. I mean, he's with ESPN, he's with Top Rank and all of them. It's like, it took him doing such a terrible job against Ngannou for them to finally admit that this guy may not be the person they're talking about. The guy who could beat Muhammad. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous that they give DAZN all this fucking shit just because of their association with, I believe it's Eddie Hearn mostly, but I would say it's because they're fucking British. They don't like them.
I don't give them shit. I like them. I don't care.
I like DAZN. I like DAZN's matchmaking because they make dangerous fights. That with all the people that's involved overall, they make more dangerous fights. So I'm just talking about the quality of the product for us in the United States. I don't care about all that other shit because at the end of the day, that's what I'm a boxing fan. Give me good fights, and I'm cool with it. You know. Other than that, none of the other shit really matters. It only matters when, you know.
It seems like a lot of the other boxing.
I can't get over how fucking great I
companies,
look with this Spider-Man suit, bro. I look fucking gorgeous.
It seems like a lot of the other promoter and boxing companies are taking care of their people in other countries better than ours are here in America, and it seems because of that, it seems like the American boxing scene and the fans are kind of getting left behind compared to other parts of the world. Which
the American boxing fan is the most fickle and most screwed over boxing fan in the world.
You hit the nail on the head with the last part. We're screwed over. Well, look at what we're paying 4 times as much as the Brits are for a pay-per-view. It's like we have it the hardest, but they expect us to spend the most. We have monthly subscriptions, just like the Brits. But when we buy a box office fight, it's literally 4 times as much money as it is in Britain. It's insane. And for that, you would think that, okay, well, you're doing pay-per-views, right? Is one of those pay-per-views Gervonta Davis versus Lopez? Because I would pay for that. No, it's Hector Luis Garcia. It's Isaac Cruz.
Look,
a showcase.
Romero.
No, but to the gentleman's point, look, the people that be complaining about the song in the United States of America, they don't pay for shit. Don't fool yourself. Those guys that they said no, the song is too expensive. If you're talking about ESPN and Top Rank, yeah, because most of the fights are on regular cable TV. But if you're talking about Showtime, all these years, one pay-per-view after another pay-per-view after another pay-per-view, $80 every time, and if you're complaining about the sun and you're not complaining about that, you're not paying for fucking Showtime.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Mathematically, they'll say DAZN is too expensive. Brody, DAZN ain't but 200 and change. That's a drop in the bucket. If you're literally buying all these pay-per-views that you keep talking about on Showtime, Brody, you're in the hole close to $600 just with those. Close to 6. Add on, if you're subscribed to Showtime, that's another 100 if you're paying the annual, or another 120 if you're paying the month to month. So you're in the hole, you know, if you round up, it is closer to 1,000 than it is 100, you know?
It's not that much. It's a little less than that, because 6 pay-per-views times 80 is 480. Then you add your taxes, 500 round up. So you're paying 620 to $640.
No, it's not. It's between 6 and 7 pay-per-views. Between 6 and 7. We can run them times 85. All right, let's get the calculator out. You might be right.
Dude,
it's going to be about $640 with your subscription. I did the math already. With the zone, with 2 pay-per-views with the zone is about $315, and Top Rank with 1 pay-per-view is about $190.
Now put it this way:
$1,100 to $1,200 for your boxing enjoyment.
That's a lot of bread.
And that's why if everything went to the zone with 3 pay-per-views and they charge us $30 a month, it would be about $500, which is a little bit more than less than half
than what we're paying now.
Yep.
To the point that Leo made, there's no way you're spending that amount of money annually on boxing and you're complaining about $200 to DAZN. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. That they're too expensive? Yeah, you're not buying anything. Just say that's how you tell me you're not buying anything without you saying you're not buying anything.
Well, Drew, sometimes it's a little bit cheaper, you know, it's only $80.
It fluctuates, but the median number for a box office fight on Showtime is between 80 and 85.
Yeah, no, they definitely up the price.
A pay-per-view on Top Rank is between like what, 60, 50 and 60? Because the Haney fight wasn't expensive. Like I remember, none of it is expensive to me, but I remember it wasn't 80. It was like 60 or 50 or some shit like that.
It's always 60. The Zone and Top Rank had their pay-per-views for people who already subscribe is anywhere between $59.99 and $64.99. That's the going rate. They basically subtract your monthly fee that you pay every month for your subscription, and that ends up being the cost for your pay-per-view.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas on Showtime, you pay 80 or 85, whether you're subscribed to Showtime or not. You can be subscribed to Showtime, yeah, it's still 85.
And Jules, think about it. How many fights do they show on their pay-per-view? How many free fights do you get a year? We didn't barely get any free fights on Showtime at all. And when they did show it, it was 1 to 2.
Pay-per-views.
The biggest fight that was on free Showtime was Frank Martin's fight. So y'all know that.
So they over there subscribed to Showtime watching weeds and shit.
Right? That must be that must be it.
That's why they're so
I argue the most memorable fight that I saw on the whole Showtime app was Garcia versus Colbert. And that's just my opinion.
I would argue the most significant fight they had on the regular schedule the last 2 years was over a year ago when Charlo fought Castaño. Other than that, there was really no regular schedule this year. Most of it was pay-per-views. The vast majority of it was pay-per-views. And you can't do business like that. See, we could say that the American fight fans are fickle, which is in many ways true, but it's also because you ask for the most of us. It's way more expensive for us to watch boxing than it is for other people. It is.
And the other thing, if you don't deliver, you've been delivering now on Showtime.
Exactly.
This year. All these other years.
It's a day late, $1 short.
Fucking Luis Ortiz against fucking Charles Martin. That was on pay-per-view.
Bro, this is the shit I'm saying. And I swear to God, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm literally telling the truth. If you go to the videos that I did last year, I said they're going to pull out all the stops, which is why I was confident that this year Crawford versus Spence will happen.
No, I remember you vividly saying that word for word.
It has to. For them, it has to. You got to do whatever you can the next year to convince the people above you to keep you. So expect some big fights.
It was sink or swim, and it was a day late and $1 short, bro. Them niggas are sinking, bro.
Exactly. Like, you can't wait till the last minute. It's a 5-year deal. That's what it was. Really, it was a 3-year deal, but it got extended to 5 due to extenuating circumstances from COVID. Better still, you got a deal, lasted 5 years. You can't wait till year 5 to start putting up numbers.
PVC is that dude who like partied all fucking college and then wanted to like cram all his studies in the last week. And it's like, motherfucker, it don't work like that, my G.
It's too late, fam.
And Jules,
it's too late.
You were laying it out so perfectly that a kindergartner could have understood. When the premier heavyweight did less than 100,000 on his pay-per-view, that should have been a red flag. When their most known fighter, Tank Davis, couldn't even crack 100,000 in some cases, but only did upwards of 200 each time consistently, that should have been another red flag. He's not breaking upwards of 500,000 to 1 million. What are we doing here?
Now you put things into context. What makes it so egregious that doesn't get said is all of these quote unquote problems are avoidable. How are they avoidable? Wilder, it's simple. You don't belong on pay-per-view anymore. It's simple. You're a $1 million fighter. It's simple. You're not a 5, not a 10, not a 15, not a 25. You got to work your way back up. For the time being, we're going to use you to drum up metrics on our regular platform. Because if we did, you would. If you would have did Wilder versus Hellenius on regular Showtime, way more people would have seen it because it would have been more accessible.
And people like that can't take L's.
For example, most of Gervonta Davis's fights are pure ass farts, ass air, ass juice. Most of them. But if you did them on regular Showtime instead of pay-per-view, you could probably bring in 1 million with that garbage every time.
I want to ask you this question. Let's make this exercise. Pound for pound, the worst pay-per-views Showtime has offered us the last years.
I would say
it's
between it's not just Showtime, it's between Showtime and Fox, because when you say who was it that did Ortiz versus Charles Martin? Was that Fox last year?
Fox was the worst.
That was Fox.
That
was all Fox.
Yeah, and you know what? They
wasn't that bad.
New Year's Eve.
They had a lot more viewers for that fight than they did when Wilder fought him. That's for damn sure.
Well, but also they only charged like $20 for that fight. Like 25.
I think it was Ruiz Ortiz is worse.
Now, the reason that all these problems are avoidable is because what those metrics show you, which is common sense, you guys don't belong on pay-per-view. You guys are not seven-figure fighters. You're not. It's very simple. Yo, dog, it shouldn't cost you more than $100,000 to get Charles Martin or Luis Ortiz out there. What, bro, are you going to bring that money back? No, all right, then here's what you do. If you don't want to fight on the money that we got, hit the fucking road.
Yeah, like,
very
get the
simple.
fuck out of here.
Hit the fucking road. Go out there and see if somebody wants to give you $3, $4, $5, $6 million. And if they do, great. If they don't, they don't.
Who's going to give $3 million to Charles Martin? Nobody. That's insane.
Who's
You're
going to give
not seven. The real problem is a lot of those guys want to be treated like they're seven-figure fighters. The most egregious case is Keith Thurman, who will not fight unless you burn money. Unless you're willing to burn money that you're never going to get back. He won't. Bro, shed the dead weight. Get these fucking guys out of here and take those resources and invest them in a young crop of fighters that don't have all these entitlement issues.
Another example, Frank Martin.
Thurman isn't worth it. He got his ass kicked by Manny Pacquiao.
Frank Martin just wanted a little extra.
For example, if it's me, and I know that it's easy to look at things after they already happened, but I already thought this. If it's me, listen, man, we're not wasting money on a fucking Thurman in his mid-30s. We're not wasting money on a Danny in his mid-30s or a Lara in his 40s. Here's what we do. We take the money we would have paid them. I want to get Isaac Cruz in the ring with Frank Martin, all right? So we'll use the money for that. What do you want? You want this? Okay, I got you. Here, you take this. You take this. You guys are young. Whoever wins, you make it to the Gervonta Davis fight after that. We'll build something around that instead of keeping you separated and not even fucking fighting. Like, what's the plan, bro? You're just going to keep them all separate. De Los Santos beat Rayo over a year ago. And instead of doing something with the momentum from that, he ends up at Top Rank because you don't have nothing for him to do. But like, are you guys idiots or something? And you're still trying to make a Thurman Stanionis, a Garcia. Bro, who on earth do you think wants to see Garcia versus Lara?
They're wasting their time on a guy who's at the end of his career instead of investing in the future like they should be doing, like other bodies do.
That's one of the main. Don't you see that their stable is so old? Whereas you look over at Top Rank and it's fresh young faces all up and down the shit. Murataya, fucking Lindolfo Delgado, Keyshawn Davis, Richard Torres, Tiger Johnson, Jared Anderson. It's a whole wave of young guys that's ready to take over. You don't still see fucking Ray Beltran over there.
Hey, even Tank is already 28. I mean, he's still young, but he's 28, so he's getting up there for a boxer. You know,
it makes sense.
Yeah, they're all like at or around 30 and above.
They refuse to drive. They refuse to drive Luis Ortiz to the retirement home, bro.
Basically, you got a whole wave of, and even at Matchroom, it's the like the stables that are doing okay. And look, shout out to Queensbury because now you know, yeah, you guys are doing okay. How do I know? You just signed Solomon Dakers, you just signed Christina O'Hara, you just signed the Burmese Python, you just signed a couple of other kids. When you see that the stable is signing young people, that's a good sign. They're like, oh, so y'all must got money because y'all still signing young fighters. You're making financial commitments to young fighters or whatever. Now you look at the PBC. Who the fuck do you guys sign, bro? Who is signed?
Nobody.
It makes sense from this perspective. Al Heyman's cashing out.
Maybe. I just know that who's your young flag bearers? Where are they?
Joey Spencer, baby.
Ow!
What was PBC's last signing announcement? Wasn't it Boo Boo?
I think it was Kermel. Again, he's 36.
Caramel.
Maybe it's Boots.
Carvel? Ice cream?
Caramel.
Is Boots going to sign? Is Boots going to be signed with PBC? I mean, that's the other thing. Boots was never a PBC fighter, and I don't know what Cameron Duncan wants to do now. Cameron Duncan, your arrangement, whatever you had, was with Showtime. Well, they're out of here now. So what do? Do you sacrifice? Most people don't know this.
Brandon Lee was with Cameron Duncan. Up until a few months ago, he was with Cameron Duncan. He was either up until a few months ago or late last year. That was Cameron Duncan's fighter.
I don't want to interrupt you. What is he doing now, anyways? Like, I haven't seen him. They haven't put him on TV in a minute.
No, Brandon fought.
When did he fight last? Maybe I missed it.
I think it was earlier this year on the undercard of a Davis fight. I want to say it was a Davis fight.
But is he still with quote unquote PBC or still fighting on that channel?
No, he's a PBC fighter now.
Okay, I'm just making. I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. I just want to make sure clarity.
All right, now, Heyman poached him from Cameron Duncan. I read this article late last year, and you could sense that he resented that he resented him for it. And I just felt like, so you probably don't want to enter into an arrangement for Jaron Boots Ennis because he's really one of the few fighters you still have. So if you're Cameron, what are you gonna do? Where do you take it? You don't have a platform. You don't have anything. The most you can do now is sell him to someone. Sell him to Bob. Sell him to Eddie. Or do you sacrifice him to Al?
Yeah. Now you're talking about Boots Ennis. Look, I don't really have an opinion about Jaron Ennis because I don't think he has proven anything in the welterweight division. But if there is something he has to do, is talk to his father and tell him that shut the fuck up. Because, look, it's all good if you want to be loyal to your people, the people you are talking to, that you are working to for your son. But you should know better, dude. Showtime was done this year. You cannot go there and say, "No, we are loyal to Showtime." Showtime is done now, and you don't have your son doesn't have a platform to for his fights. Maybe he doesn't fight this. Who knows if fights it this other year?
I mean, I said that I think he's gonna end up like Andre. I just look at the lay of the land just based on what's happening now, and I'm like, unless you jump into see, there's players at 154. There's players there. There's fingers in the pie. People with money. So if you jump into bed with the right people, you have a future. But right now, where you are, you don't have a future. So you need to decide what side of the street you're gonna be on. You do. You have to. All right. You don't have a buzz. This shit is a joke. Johnny Fisher has more of a buzz than you do, and he only has a few fights. Fucking Fabio, he's not as close to a world title as you are, but he has a real buzz worth real money. All right. There are promoters, major ones, fighting over him. They want him. You don't have a buzz, bro. What you have is a win over Roman Villataris Balcony. That's what you have.
I recently saw on Twitter Terrence Crawford clapping back some of these detractors that are asking him to fight Boots Ennis. And my question is, okay, that's a really good fight. I would like to see who's gonna make that fight.
Who's gonna pay for? And Leo, you can't ask $5 motherfuckers who's gonna pay for it. That's a different language. You might as well be speaking Chinese when you ask that. It's simple, bro. If you want Boots to fight Crawford, the question is, who is going to pay for it? Because somebody has to. What do you think? It's just going to appear out of the fucking sky? They're going to fight on a fucking cloud in a constellation? Somebody has to pay.
And I think it's unfair to ask this young man. No, go ahead.
Real quick. How stupid are you to have loyalty to a fucking, even just a promotional outfit, but to a network? The hell's wrong with you?
When his father said that, and I don't want to call nobody stupid. I really don't. But if you're giving loyalty to a network without a financial incentive attached, you must be stupid. Somebody must have talked you into thinking that that's a good idea. You see, there's a reason that Shakur Stevenson gets approximately $3 million a fight. Do you know why? Because he's exclusive to ESPN. So while he doesn't get to move around as much, he's making money for it. So if you want to be exclusive to Showtime, your son is not getting $3 million a fight. So what are you still over there for, bro? You could. What I like about what Fabio's doing, Fabio just had a fight on Queensbury. Now they got some money to give him over there at Boxer. He got some money, he could go over there. And he has the autonomy to do that. That, all right, if you talking the right shit, we could do business. Because that's supposed to be the perk of free agency. That y'all can't stop me from getting this money. Now, if you just giving your loyalty to Showtime, congratulations, bro.
Look, Julius, I don't know much about the business of streaming networks and all that, but I will not be surprised if any of these PBC fighters don't fight at all in 2024.
I wouldn't be,
because I don't think that deal, whatever deal PBC can make with any of these streaming platforms, is gonna make. Do you think it's gonna be closed on January? Maybe.
You took the word. No, you took the words out of my mouth, bro. December is right around the corner. We're in November.
Mm-hmm.
We're in November.
The middle of November.
So if just put it in terms of work, because we all got something in common. We're all blue collared in a motherfucker, except for me. I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Right? Imagine you have a family to feed. Imagine you have bills to pay. Imagine we're at the end of the year and you don't know when you're going to work. Not fight, work. You don't know when you're going to work. Yeah, that's not good, bro. You need to hurry up and make an announcement or something needs to happen, because it's a whole lot of people over there with a whole lot of kids and a whole lot of bills and a whole lot of that they need to know when they're going to work. January's right around the corner.
See,
I don't believe the fight's gonna happen. I honestly don't. Not in this year. Not even next year. I doubt it. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you I said that the doomsday scenario, it's not Showtime walking out of boxing. That's not the doomsday scenario. The doomsday scenario is if once they do, you can't find a broadcast partner. That's the doomsday scenario, because if, and I'm not saying he won't, I'm saying if you can't, fighters are going to start to float away, and the PBC will disband. The most you become in that scenario is a booking agent. You loan out your fighters to people who can use them because you don't have nothing for them to do. You don't have nowhere for them to fight. That's the doomsday scenario. Now, the rumor is he's talking to Netflix. The rumor. Or another scenario. Let me present you another scenario, Leo. The PBC were not doing that many shows this year anyway. So what if they're reduced to doing 7 annual pay-per-views and they just cram the hell out of them with fighters? And only the ones they can use. They just stuff them shits like a turkey, bro. Fucking undercards got like fucking 15 people on it or some shit. Because I can see that, like, yo, dog, when you backed into a corner, you're backed into a corner. You don't want to go to the zone, clearly. So, and they would give you an annual budget, but you don't want to go there. So if the Amazon deal, I don't know if that's going to be the way it is. Let's just hypothesize that the Amazon deal is the only deal on the table, and that's the only deal you take, and it's only a distribution deal, and they're not giving you any money. It's just marketing. You'll probably double stuff those fucking undercards like Oreos with guys looking for a fucking fight date.
Yeah, I know.
I can shout to Smokey real quick. PBC's next deal is with OnlyFans.
Like, go ahead, Leo.
Another thing, look, if you want to make if you want to break even, if you're going to build up all those fighters on those pay-per-view cards, because they're gonna be pay-per-views, what you're gonna do? You're gonna use Canelo 3-4 times a year? Because
you only have him for 2.
Yeah, because that's the only guy that can carry a pay-per-view and be able to pay all the guys that are on the card.
Pero también un Canelo pay-per-view is a Canelo Alvarez promotion. That's the other thing. He is not under the same arrangement as these other people. So the only way I could see a scenario like that kind of working out, just from my perspective, from my money to your wallet, is if you gave me Thurman versus Boots, yes, I would pay to see Thurman get put in the hospital. You'd have to give me a whole card like that, though. A whole card like that. And I would buy it, though. Like if you said, Thurman versus Boots, you don't even have the strength of stable to do it. That's the crazy. Like I can't think of very many matches that they have that I'm like, yeah, I really want to see that.
So, no, a good card will be Thurman versus Boots, Danny Garcia versus Tim Kwasu.
Yeah, there you go. I would pay for that.
Danny Garcia gets fucked up in that fight.
He gets turned into ground chuck, and if anything that involves Danny getting hurt really bad, you'll get my money. If I can see,
see him getting the shit beat out of him would be very enjoyable. I would pay to see that.
I would pay to see that.
Danny Garcia at all.
Hey, hold up, guys! Look at my new avatar. Let
me see. Hold up.
Uh-oh.
Let me see what. Let me see.
Dun.
All right, let me see. I got it. I'm about to blow it up.
Boxing is bad.
That's the old PBC slogan, bro. That's the old PBC logo. I have that poster in my gallery whenever I need to use it. I have that. And
it had NBC on it. NBC, Spike, and CBS.
Nice.
What a good idea that never just didn't work for you.
The shit is this is the shit. When you think about how much money he blew on that, bro, $500 million in 3 years. Those are the numbers for those that don't know. From 2013 to 2015, he blew $500 million on that shit.
Bro, that's like the United States government blowing money. That's impressive.
That's really. Somebody told me that he spent it on cocaine. I think it was real talk. I'm like, nah, dog. That much cocaine, that motherfucker would have died. That motherfucker would have died, bro. Ain't that much goddamn cocaine.
Shit, if he keeps going at this rate, the government might hire his ass. He won't have to worry about
shit. You never were right.
But legitimately, how do you walk in and pitch a meeting where you're like, listen, we've been on like 6 or 7 platforms. We ain't made them shit. They've all rejected us again. But it'd be a great idea if you would give us a big old pile of cash so we can also fuck over, your institution or your company as well. Who would ever give that guy a fucking wooden nickel after this?
Bro,
Plot twist.
A wooden nickel.
Wow.
I'm gonna ask you, bro. Al Heyman's gonna walk in there. Al Heyman's gonna walk in there and say that he's a born again virgin, that all of his past sins have been washed away.
Yeah, that's the only way it could work. I'm still stuck on wooden nickel.
He's gonna ask you.
Fucking wooden nickel.
Not even a wooden penny. A wooden penny.
Because the funny shit is, I would listen to him and I'll be like, I got this for you, bro. Do fights with it.
That's some shit you would give a paper boy in the 1920s. Here, kid, here's a wooden nickel. Get out of here.
You can take this and fuck off.
You want to talk about awful investments? What are you thinking? Who would take a meeting? Yeah, we blew through $750 million in like 5 years. We got a great idea to really help the metrics with your company. Get the fuck out of here. What do you know?
Well, we got a big pile of money that needs spending.
So we have all this money that we need to burn. Can you help out with us?
Shit. It's because the thing is, I just can't imagine the scenario that he described. I can't, like, bro, who would listen to this guy? Who would listen to Al Heyman, bro? 3 years, $500 million, bro. 3 years.
I think I'm gonna
ask cocaine, man.
I'm gonna answer you, Julius. Netflix. Netflix will.
They can't be that fucking dumb, bro.
I don't think so either, man.
Do you understand the amount of fuckery that actually happening in that platform? And they blew up money.
Yeah, dumb, bro. Leo, if they are, then they deserve it. They deserve to get fucked out of that money.
In their defense, though, Netflix has found a way to burn a lot of money on some really bad.
Yeah, they've got a lot of wooden nickels.
So
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the wooden nickel started, raining from the sky.
Well, is that a wooden nickel? 1/20th of a dollar?
Netflix did a lot of downsizing and canceling of a lot of shows that weren't, pulling in metrics. And I honestly don't think they are that stupid. I think they are gonna pay attention to okay, well, what do you normally pull in? And I don't think they're gonna fuck with it, man.
They're guys like, if you had to put a realistic value on Heyman's fighters, all right, the people at Top Rank, they get $100 million annual budget. I would price the PBC's stable of fighters at half that.
Bro, I got $5, man. I think that they can work with that.
And the only special exceptions would have to be Canelo Alvarez and Gervonta Davis, if we're being realistic. Those are the only two exemptions. But other than that, the rest of that stable has no commercial value. There is no redeemable value. So all we'd be doing is burning cash to put you on the platform. That's it.
Bro, what about the great Rolando Romero?
Hold up, I got a question for you though. What about all the partnerships they got with other fighters who actually have other managements, like Tim Tszyu and stuff like that? Well, how about that? That's the question.
Well, Tim Tszyu, Glenn, look. What I think happened with Tim Tszyu, they're not gonna they're not gonna let the PBC stifle their movement. I think they learned their lesson, which is why he ended up going back to Australia. It was supposed to be a big deal. He comes to America, he fights the fucking Armory, and he looks around. What the fuck is this place?
Hey, Jules, the $1 million question: since they put Rolly as a champion in recess recently, who does he fight when he comes out of it?
Bro,
he has to fight O'Hara.
Retard Romero.
So he fights the winner between Sugar Barroso and O'Hara Davies. I'm so happy that fight happened. Both of those guys deserve that fight. When I saw people saying, I said, hell out of here. Both of those guys deserve the fight. Sugar Barroso beat Rolly, and Davies has been in line. I told Davies,
that's a good fight,
don't
because if O'Hara goes in there and he beats the shit out of the guy, then you'll know, this is for real, because Rolly couldn't do nothing with this old ass man.
But the sad part is that O'Hara Davis is gonna be beating up the elote vendor from the corner store, man.
Yeah,
Russell ain't gonna beat him.
I ain't going player beating Rolly.
Rolly Romero's so dumb. Do you think he's on a playground somewhere when they told him he's champion in recess?
Bro, when they told him he was a champion in recess, he ran to the nearest school, bro. Took all the kids' juice boxes and shit, bro. He's on the jungle gym right now.
I'm the champion here in recess, they told me.
Yeah, I'm goalie. We got English class. Fucking idiot. On that note, I'm going to call it a night, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. I'll see y'all on the next live.
See y'all.
Everybody have a